The power glitched. We are having an ice storm. An ice storm transforms the world into a breathtaking frozen landscape. But beneath its glistening beauty lurks destruction. I remember the 5-day ice storm of 1998 vividly. Roads became treacherous sheets of ice, turning even the simplest journey into a dangerous ordeal. The air hangs heavy with eerie stillness, interrupted only by the groan of ice-laden branches or the sudden sharp crack of one giving way. The world slows, wrapped in a brittle, shimmering silence. Trees bow under the relentless weight of ice, their limbs snapping like gunfire, sometimes bringing down power lines already sagging beneath their own frozen burden. Entire neighborhoods plunge into frigid darkness, leaving hundreds of thousands stranded in the cold for up to 30 days. That storm left a lasting imprint on me, on all of us who lived through it. It was a stark reminder of how quickly everything can change, how vulnerable we are to nature's raw power. Today, decades later, I saw the news, the warnings, downed power lines, hazardous travel, emergency alerts flashing across the screen. I know this story all too well. My 3 sisters messaged each other to check in, making sure everyone was safe, that we all had power. I wondered if the outages had reached my city, so I did some research. So far, so good. But the storm wasn't over yet. We still had the night to get through. A couple of years ago, a historic storm tore through the region, with winds reaching speeds up to Category 3 hurricane, knocking out our power for nearly a week. It was spring then, so the biggest inconveniences were thawing freezers and the inability to cook, which was easily solved with barbecues. Some dear friends came by with their generator, keeping my house and my neighbor's house powered just enough for the essentials. I was incredibly fortunate and deeply grateful. And it was a wake-up call. A winter power outage in Canada just isn't inconvenient. It's dangerous. As soon as I could afford one, I bought my own generator. Another power glitch. I finished my dinner and then had a thought. If the power does go out, possibly for days, I'd rather have showered beforehand. As I lathered up, I heard the thought, what if the power goes out when I'm lathered up like this? In my mind, I saw my body in the shower stall, all sticky and lathered up in the dark. But I also saw the light. I saw the truth, the reality, and that's not it. What if the power went off? The answer is, it's not. And the next moment, it's not. And the next moment, it's not. What if is what is not. There is light. That's what is. It's by the light and intelligence of awareness that we see what is real. Reality is light. The mind's stories are the darkness. I rinsed off the soap, and the lights were still on. To lose yourself in the mind's stories is to step into the dark, to disconnect from reality. It's not that I don't prepare. I do. My generator is tuned up. I have salt, gas, candles, flashlights, batteries, fully charged devices, an emergency kit, food, and water. Before I got in the shower, I checked the news. No outages in Ottawa yet. The radar showed the storm was winding down. That didn't mean power couldn't go out. It could, but it wasn't. I stepped out, dried off, and started to dry my hair. With my head upside down, air blowing upward, another thought arrived. What if the power goes out while I'm drying my hair? The answer once again is, it's not. Once again, what if is what is not. The mind's job is to offer ideas, some useful, some not. It's your job to discern the difference between the mind's imagination and the reality right in front of you. That's intelligence. I didn't dawdle in the mind's illusions while bathing or drying my hair. Because since what I call the direct seeing, listen to episode 6 for the full story of that and what happened to me in the woods. Since then, I no longer mistake the mind for reality, for truth, for myself, or for you. And I hear the mind a lot less than I used to, because I don't feed it, I don't propel it forward at breakneck, unconscious speed. I quit taking the mind so seriously. I quit giving it reality. And so I quit experiencing nightmares in the daytime. Reality is already enough to deal with. I know, I promised to pick up where we left off last week, but this story was too timely to ignore. It's the perfect opportunity to talk about the storm inside the mind, the unconscious illness that plagues humanity, though most don't even realize they're afflicted. Meanwhile, in another part of the world, my close high school friend is facing the looming threat of fire, one that could consume her farm and all the animals on it. Is she planning? Yes, she's taking real, tangible steps. She's assessing the actual situation, moment by moment, just like I did, judging the reality of the danger, not a fear-based projection of it. She's preparing in case she needs to evacuate, because waiting until the last minute could make things impossible. That's the difference between being awake to what is versus dream experiencing what is not. You make plans in reality, but you don't suffer in the mind. And you don't let the mind's stories blind you to what is actually happening. When we dream, our thoughts can paralyze us, make us foolish, and robs us of our creativity. You see, the mind doesn't know anything. It's you who knows reality. There's a saying, man makes plans and God laughs. God being reality and man being the mind. It's the mind that makes plans and invents fears. As Mark Twain said, I've lived through some terrible things in my life, some of which actually happened. Most fears never happen. That is, the story or the content, that is, the reality, doesn't happen. The fear happens. And what is a fear? It's an experience of the mind. So most fears never happen, but if you live inside them, that is, you live inside the mind, you might take real action on a dream. And that just doesn't work in reality. It can lead to dysfunction, paralysis, phobias. My mind's plan today was to pick up where we left off last week, to write and record the next podcast accordingly. But life had other plans. So I'll return to our regularly scheduled program next week. Or at least that's the plan. A couple of times today, I heard the thought, I'm not writing the podcast. What if I don't have it ready in time? What if is what is not. And by the end of the day, without effort, without strain, the podcast wrote itself. In the shower, when I saw once again, what if is what is not. P.S. The mind doesn't know reality. You know both the mind and reality. Act accordingly.